Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Arsenal are through to the quarterfinals after defeating Bayer Leverkusen 3-1 on aggregate, 2-0 this morning at the Emirates and 1-1 in a draw last week in Leverkusen. Not the best performance back there in Leverkusen, but you couldn't have asked for much more today, especially from the main man, Eberechi Eze. And you know what? He had a great counterparter as well, Declan Rice. Without these two guys, I'm not confident that we're going through to the quarterfinals. Eberechi Eze able to find a way through the tough defense of Bayer Leverkusen. And you know what? Especially Bayer Leverkusen's goalkeeper, because for the first 30 minutes, we had countless opportunities. Trossard with 2 shots, Saka with 1, Declan Rice with a free kick, all of which were stopped by the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper. Some outrageous saves. But step to the forefront, come Eberechi Eze, on the edge of the box, takes a touch with his left foot, pivots, a ball that's bouncing, slams it with his right foot, an absolute rocket into the top left corner, and down goes the Bayer Leverkusen's tough defense. 1-0 to the Arsenal, and, you know, a very well-deserved 1-0 as well. I thought so many times this season, Arsenal have not created many opportunities, not been very free-flowing in attack. If you were to look at one of our best attacking efforts, it was tonight. It was free-flowing. After the first half, we had 16 odd shots, 7 on target. That is ridiculous numbers, because I've seen games this season where we've had 1 shot on target in the entire game. We're not having many shots on target. We're winning games by own goals, by corners. Look, you got to win the games any way necessary, but when it comes to the Champions League and you've got to play 2 games against tough opponents, you can't always be counting on an own goal. You can't always be counting on a lucky set piece to get you through. You still need to see these performances where you are getting countless opportunities, because sometimes you will have goalkeepers like this, like we did last year with Donnarumma, where you need these opportunities to keep coming and keep having good shots and good opportunities against these goalkeepers to finally find a way through. And sometimes it does take a piece of magic, a free kick by Declan Rice, or today, Eberechi Eze with an absolute wonder strike. One of the goals that you're going to continuously see. It's going to go down as Arsenal goal of the season, in my opinion. It might go down as UCL goal of the season. It's going to be one of the best goals you're ever going to see by an Arsenal player. And it's just another magical moment by Eberechi Eze. I mean, it's his first season at Arsenal. He's had some highs, he's had some lows. I thought some games he's gone absolutely missing. And it's just not come to play in some games. He's been dragged early. He's been thrown on for 20 minutes and not performed. But today, those 2 Tottenham performances especially, but again today, he's come out and he's shown his worth. Like, this is his first goal in the Champions League, and what a way to take it, because, you know, a bobbling ball from Trossard, he takes it off his left foot, pivots, defender's right there, slams it with his right foot, top left bins, and honestly, one of the best goals you're going to see. Come halftime, it's 1-0, but it was one of the few 1-0s that I'm there thinking, we are playing so well, because it wasn't a lucky goal. It wasn't a game where we're taking a lot of risks or we're conceding a lot of chances from the opposition. We were so tight in defence. Piero Ngapi with a great last-ditch effort to stop a Bayer Leverkusen shot as well. He needs his praise. We are going to talk about players individually, but I want to talk about the attack first, because this season the attack has been awful in my opinion. Yes, you'll hit me with arguments saying our goal difference, how many goals we've scored and whatever. For me, in my opinion, when you think about Arsenal, when you think about the early days of Arsenal, when it was Arsene Wenger, all right, in the early 2000s, the early 2010s and whatever have you, we were so good in attack. Everything was so free-flowing. And this season, that creativity, that almost arrogance in attack, all right, that confidence, the courage to do skills, to take big shots, to take big risks in attack, we just aren't that team, all right? And I like that flair. I like that sort of Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil type of football that we just don't see that often. But today, all right, we got to see that creativity through the midfield, through Declan Rice, through Zubimendi, through Eberechi Eze, and then out on the wings, we saw Trossard, we saw Saka, even we see Gyökeres. All of these guys, in my opinion, performed today and created so many chances for each other. Yes, we only scored 2 goals, but, you know, in other games, we would have scored 3, 4, 5 goals, because, like I said, their goalkeeper was outstanding. And Declan Rice, his goal early in the second half, he takes the ball sort of in the middle between halfway and the edge of the penalty box, drives it through, gets the edge of the box, right foot, bottom right corner, perfect. He just passes it into the net. The goalkeeper has no chance at it, and 2-0, and I'm thinking this game is finished. Bayer Leverkusen, I'll give them credit. They did have a few sort of periods of time, 10, 15, maybe even 5 minutes of dominant attack where they were having a few chances, a few corners, but there was no real point apart from one Raya save that was unbelievable in the 86th minute that I thought we were under stress. And you know what? You got to give credit to David Raya for that, all right? Because he did not really have a save to make up until that point. We're talking 85 minutes of concentration up until a point where he's got to pull something out of his ass and make a great save. And guess what? When that time came, he found that save because Bayer Leverkusen find that equaliser, very easily it becomes 2-2. All right, we saw on the weekend, we couldn't score for ages against Everton. Gyökeres scores in the 89th. All of a sudden, it's 2-0 and we win that game. All right, it's quick how things can turn around. So for Bayer Leverkusen, if they were able to snatch that goal back, because it was a great shot and even better save by David Raya, get that save, keep the clean sheet, and let's keep it moving because the Emirates has been a fortress this year in defence. It's always been the attack that's worried me, but the defence always shows up. And let's run through the players. David Raya, right? We're going to do player ratings. David Raya, a 9. For me, a 9. You keep a clean sheet. You have one massive save to make after a long game with not a lot to do, and you pull it out. You can't ask for much more. So a good 9 from David Raya. I also thought his distribution was spot on today. He was quick with it, both his feet and his hands. So a solid 9 for David Raya. Ben White, I think Ben White was the one poor player today. I thought he made quite a few mistakes. He wasn't great in attack and he didn't offer much. I thought it wasn't the greatest night from Ben White, and I can see why we heavily rely on Urian Timber because Ben White, yes, he's a solid player for me. He's a solid centre back, but he's a solid player. He can be relied on if somebody's injured, but week in, week out, I want Urian Timber there. And I think Ben White didn't put his best foot forward today. I'm going to give him about a 5. I think he was average. 5's average, right? Don't think 5 is poor. 5 is average, all right? And that's what I think he was today. I think he was average. Gabriel, another strong, dominant performance today. I don't think he was as good as Saliba, but a very good performance. An 8 from Gabriel. Saliba, a 9. Look, these guys lock down the defense. When the opportunities for the attackers on the opposition team are limited to 1 or 2 a game and we still keep a clean sheet, you've got to get these guys high marks. So an 8 for Gabriel, a 9 for Saliba, and you know what, a 9 for Piero Hincapié because he makes a dominant last-ditch effort to stop a shot in the early of the first half. So Piero Hincapié is probably our best defender today, and you know what, the more he's playing at left back and the more games we see of him, the better performances we see. And can you believe, like, the opposition we saw today just let this guy go out on loan? How the hell did Andrea Berta convince Bayer Leverkusen to say, you know what, we'll pay you next year, just let us have Hincapié this year? It's unbelievable work from Berta and a great performance by Hincapié, and he's ending this season very, very well. And it is unfortunate because Maulu Skelly had such a good end of last year, and I was hoping that he could cement a place in the first team, but defensively, there's no comparison between MLS and Pierre Hincapié. Let's go into the midfield. Zubimendi. I think out of all the 3 midfielders, Zubimendi was our worst, right? But it was still a very good performance. All right, I say he's a worst, but I'm talking he's probably a 7 or an 8 today. It was a very good performance by Zubimendi. I'm going to give him a 7. He controlled things. He kept the tempo up. But I don't think it was his most creative day, and I don't think he dominated the midfield as he can. I still think it was a good performance, but I want to see more. I like Zubimendi. I think he can bring something, especially in the creativity side. So a 7 for Zubimendi. These 2 guys, Declan Rice and Ebery Chiesi. I mean, I talked about them a lot at the start of the video, but they're brilliant, aren't they? Declan Rice needs to stay fit for the rest of the season. What have we got? 7 Prem games left. We got a few Cup games left, and we've got the few Champions League games left. This guy needs to play every single minute of that. If we can find him some rest time, it'll be needed. I thought he maybe could have come off earlier today. I don't even think he came off at all. I think he needs to come off. He needs to, at 2-0, 70 minutes, take him off, man. He's so important. We can't have him injured because if he goes down injured, I'd love to know who you think is going to come in and step in and do that job. All right? Because Norgard, a good midfielder. He's not doing the Declan Rice job. Marino is injured. He's not doing the Declan Rice job. Nobody in this squad is doing the Declan Rice job. So he needs to stay fit, because what he brings us in dominance in defense, the set pieces, and a goal today. I mean, you just can't bring anybody else into the squad that's going to do that job. And today, a 9 from Declan Rice. And you know what? Eberechi Eze, this might be too much, but I'm giving him a 10 today. I think when you are the creative force in the team and you're creating opportunities, you find the way through with a wonder strike. You were able to crack that defense, because, you know, up until that point, it was 0-0. If we went to halftime 0-0, things are different. The mentality is different. Bayer Leverkusen growing confidence because they've made 45 minutes at the Emirates without conceding a goal. How that changes everything, you know, we're not going to know. But Eberechi Eze coming in, scoring that goal, showing his class, his first UCL goal, very, very important. And I think the longer he stays at this squad, the better we're going to see him, because when he was interchanging with Odegaard, not high on confidence, 1 week he's playing, 1 week he's not, we were seeing poor performances, we were seeing some good performances. This consistent run that we're now seeing him on, he's getting better and better and better, and I want to see him hold down that position with no worries about what Martin Odegaard's going to be doing. So, a great performance today by Eberechi Eze. All right, the front three. We're going to start with Saka, and I want to start with Saka because he was the one sort of disappointing part of the attack. I wasn't much impressed with Bukayo Saka this morning. I haven't been impressed with Bukayo Saka for about 10, 12 weeks, maybe longer. I think he's had a very poor season. And I say he's had a very poor season because I think we can all look at Saka, what he's done over the course of career. There's a reason he's on 300 grand a year. There's a reason he is the star boy of our club, because the talent is there, the ability is there. We know how good he is. But for me, he hasn't shown it this season. And once again today, he didn't show it. I will say one thing about Bukayo Saka. I thought there was a few times in attack that the decisions were made wrong. I thought there was a few times where he could have been played in for an opportunity. But I will also say there was a few times where Bukayo Saka had the ball and he was too slow with it. He didn't pass it. He was greedy with it. Or he wasted the opportunity, either not taking the shot early enough or making the wrong decision, not passing the ball across, not cutting it back, not taking the shot early. There was plenty of times where Bukayo Saka had the ball in good space and made the wrong decision. And that's what I mark Bukayo Saka on. I don't mark what Bukayo Saka doesn't do, because I saw there was plenty of opportunities that I saw Gyökeres, Eze, Trossard, and men alike have that opportunity to pass the ball down to Bukayo Saka, and they didn't take that opportunity, which was poor. But Bukayo Saka needs to fix up, in my opinion, because he's the type of guy that I look at and say, you need to be scoring or assisting at least once a game. His stats aren't great this year at all. All right. And it's not all about stats, in my opinion. I hate XG. I hate all of that stuff. I like to see with my eyes what you're doing. And what I see with my eyes, what he's doing, isn't enough for what he is to this club. He is such an important figure in this club. All right. He's the guy that's carried us through multiple seasons. This is the time I want to see you striving in a team that's dominating. And unfortunately, this season he hasn't. Whether that's reliant on the injury that he suffered last year, I don't know. But I want to see more from Bukayo, because I know he's got that ability. He's just not showing it. And I think he's being greedy. All right. I'd like to see him and Gyökeres link up a little bit more. Leandro Trossard, I thought he had a special game today. I thought it was one of his best ones all season. I thought the work rate especially, sometimes I think Trossard's a little bit lazy and he's a little bit lackluster. In defense, he was very, very good. In attack, he was very, very good. He was chasing after absolutely everything. And you know what? Eberechi Eze's goal was special, all right? It was a wonder strike. You can claim Trossard's assist, all right? Trossard was the guy that got him the ball. So, a good performance by Trossard. I think it's one of his better performances. He had a few good shots. He had a few good link-ups with Gyökeres, with Saka. So, good performance by Trossard. I'm going to give him an 8. I didn't actually rate Bukayo. I think he was a 6 today. Gyökeres, another good performance by him today. I thought he was poor against Everton, but today his hold-up play, getting the ball, finding his teammates, passing the ball, even the drives through the middle were very, very good by Gyökeres. He doesn't get his goal. He doesn't get an assist, but I thought a very good performance by Gyökeres, and that was more of the performance you want to see from Gyökeres. All right, if you look at today's game, This is the thing about strikers. You get rated on your goals. Today, he doesn't score a goal, but I think he plays very, very well. Against Everton, I thought he played very, very poorly, but scores a goal. So, if you're playing poorly, find that goal. If you're not playing, if you are playing well, we see the effect he has on the game because he was able to hold up defenders. He was able to find his teammates. He was able to find those passing lanes. And I think on another day, he does score today. Or get an assist. So I thought a good performance by Gyökeres, but at the end of the day, he doesn't score. So I'm only going to give him a 7. He is our gunman striker. I want to see a little bit more. And I thought he had the opportunity today to get that goal. He was just unable to score it. All right, and the subs, Christian Mosquera. If there was any indication that you want Saka in that position, it was today. Gyökeres gets the ball, drives through, passes it out to Mosquera, where Saka always is. But unfortunately, it was Mosquera on that occasion, and he wasn't able to capitalize. But I'm not going to rate him too harshly on that. He held it strong in defense, and that's all you can ask. Gabriel Martinelli came on, didn't do much. Christian Norgard came on, kept things ticking, but didn't do much. Kai Havertz, like I said, came on, kept things ticking, but didn't do a lot, and same with Miles Lewis-Skelly. So I'm not really going to rate any of those guys. They all came on, kept the clean sheet, didn't do anything spectacular, but didn't fuck it up either. So good performance today by Arsenal. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here, guys. See ya.